Hi everybody and welcome to Vintage Digitals. So I'm making this video because a subscriber commented on the Casio C701 review video where I stated that this module has a weird quirk in the sense that if you fit a battery to it, it will work, the microlight will work, but the mode button, which I'm pressing right now, will not cycle through the functions. And he commented that he had a similar case and he sees this as a production fault because in his case the connecting wire from the mode button to the module wasn't present, but the coating was there. Now I don't know if it's a production fault because all the modules that I've experienced like this they worked for a period and then they stopped working, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a production fault, but it got me thinking, what if that trace from the mode button that goes up to the module has actually a crack in it. And I remember specifically that I tried to correct this fault and I kept measuring the continuity by measuring right from the tip of the mode contact right up to the module. I did a small scrape, so I have a measuring point and it measured continuity. But if it had a crack in the middle, that crack in the trace would not have been visible under the microscope, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, depending on how the board was bent, because this is held in place with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of screws, and maybe when you tighten the screws too much, you end up flexing the board. Reason for it sometimes working, sometimes not working. The idea that I'm going to try out is to disassemble the watch and then scrape the entire length of the mode trace and put some conducting silver over it and see if that does the job. If it works, I will do a test over several weeks, so maybe this video will go up quite a long time from the time that I'm filming it. If it's successful or not, we'll know then. Okay, so the trace that we are talking about is the mode one. This is the pad that is for the mode button, and if we turn it over, we can see that we have to supposedly fix this trace. So the product that I'm using, and I've mentioned this in many of my repair videos, is this conductive silver L100 compound. I believe it's made by Camo, and it's about $10. You have to shake it really well before you can use it. So here is the painted board, and you can see, calling it messy would be an understatement. I even went to the other traces, but I do have a cleaning option, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But first we have to let it dry for about 5 minutes before we can essentially scrape off the excess with a needle, but this time we're not going to use a sharp needle, we're going to use more of a blunt needle. So as you can see, that is the trace now. It looks a lot more cleaner and it doesn't touch any of the surrounding traces. So now we'll leave it to dry for 24 hours and then we are going to apply the conformal coating. And the reasoning behind that is because the type of conformal coating that I apply sometimes dissolves the silver compound. It suspends it in the conformal coating. So I noticed that if I wait 24 hours, I can easily apply the conformal coating and the silver compound stays in place. So now it's the waiting game. But before that, we are going to give it a test with a multimeter just so we know that we have perfect continuity. Perfect. So here we're applying the conformal coating. And basically that's it. So it's time to assemble the watch and see what we did. And by the way, this is the conformal coating I'm using, but I think you can use any other conformal coating. Okay, the watch is working. We'll just do an all reset before we do any tests. Here we have the all clear pad, and what we have to do is bridge that to the back of the batteries. And now the watch you can see it reset. Now for the moment of truth. Let's press the mode button, fingers crossed. And it appears to do nothing. Microlight is working. So yeah, and apparently after just a few seconds of messing with the watch, I didn't do anything, it just started working. So maybe this fix really does have something to it. I will continue to monitor it for around 2 or 3 weeks, wear it and see if that symptom appears again. If not, I think we will be able to deem this as a proper fix. So just a quick log on the Casio watch and the fault with the mode button. I was finishing up a video and I thought I'd check up on it, and indeed it's doing it again. The mode button doesn't work. So the light, however, does work, but that's expected. So I will quickly do an all reset on the watch. See if that gets us anywhere. Probably it won't. Yep, it all reset. It let me remove the... never mind. And no, it's not working at all. I'll just put it inside the watch. Maybe that helps. And nothing. I will put the lid back on. And still nothing, pressing all the buttons. So yeah. So in the end I still stay above what I said. The fact that this module 133 has a peculiar fault. I don't know if it's factory or it's something that you would see over time, but on some modules the mode button will not cycle through the functions, and after a while it would, but then it would go back to default. Anyway, Michael, you had mentioned that in your watch the trace that was going up to the integrated circuit wasn't really visible, and you painted it and it did work, so that might be a difference. Please do elaborate below what your experience was. Maybe some people will want to know exactly what you did because they might have what you had, and they will be able to fix it with your advice. I do know for a fact that some of the game watches have modules that at one point go crazy. I have seen one, and friends sent me over one to fix. I changed all the parts, but the module still had a peculiar quirk in the fact that you would just leave it in demo mode. The game was in demo mode, and if you would cycle through the functions, at one point it just froze. It could work for a few days, but then it would freeze up again, and so on. Thanks for watching this video. Join me on the next one when I will be showing you how to build a coil for the Seiko Data 2000 watch, a highly requested video. Until then, bye.